The process that we use to have students write in this way is a combination of individual consultation or coaching with teens and group meetings. And they're both important. In the group meetings, people get a sense that other people, no matter how different they may look from them on the outside, and this is a very diverse program with kids from all different races and countries and backgrounds, they face the same challenges growing up as teenagers in New York City, and by and large have the same feelings about them. So that makes kids feel braver about revealing their own issues and struggles and hopes and dreams, because they see if somebody that's that different from me has the same feelings, then I must be normal. That's only the first step, sort of to feel affirmed and that it's possible to do this. Then you've actually got to do it. And that happens largely through an editor and a teen working together through many drafts, building the story. We had a student in the program who had just started, and he was asked what he wanted to write about, and he said he wanted to write a story called Practicing Safe Sex, and why you should always wear a condom. And the first draft read sort of like, a bad brochure or an encyclopedia entry on condoms or something like that, which is not something we would print. The editor may realize at that point that, no, this is not the story the kid wants to write, but he's not sure. I mean, it was the first thing that he said, so the editor's going to probe a little bit. And in this case, he probed he gave the writer a worksheet that we use sometimes that has 6 questions. Why do you want to write this story? What's the reader going to get out of this story? What's the most important thing that's going to be in the story? The last question was, what will you get out of writing this story? And the teen wrote, nothing but the loss of my dignity. When the editor saw that response, he really pushed him because he thought, well, there is a story here. So he wrote that piece, and it was a perfectly good, well-written piece of writing after he'd gotten through 5 or 6 drafts. And we were almost ready to run it, but then the editor looked at it and realized that the baby never appeared in the story. The editor writes, how do you feel about that? And the kid writes something like, well, I guess I'll never bounce my son on my knee or hear him call me dad. That story went from pamphlet to part-time dad, which is what he was sort of complaining about at the beginning, to loss. Loss was the story that he really wanted to write in the very beginning, but without going through the process of writing, he couldn't really even access those emotions. It was through the writing process that allowed him to do it. His story was why you should always wear a condom or practice safe sex. His original draft would have convinced no one. His second draft would have been, okay, there's a lot of part-time dads around, it's not such a big deal. His final draft, talking about the real reason you should practice safe sex is if you don't, you'll screw up one of the most important experiences of your life. That is convincing to a reader in a way that the other 2 stories wouldn't have been at all.